This is a cathode ray tube. Price about $500. When installed in an oscilloscope, it displays electronic signals with a high degree of accuracy. Manufacture it with a defect, and it's worth about $20 as scrap. Should a defect go undetected, HP has an unhappy customer. Loss of sales and profit will result. Inside every CRT is an electron gun, today's subject. The gun is the heart of all CRTs. Guns come in several configurations to perform different measurements. However, all guns have certain basic components. This 0900 gun, which we'll use for demonstration, has a grid cup, an accelerator or long anode, a focus anode, an astigmatism anode, 2 vertical deflection plates, an interplate shield, and 2 horizontal deflection plates. These parts are held precisely in place by 4 glass rods. This is the pre-clean room. We'll discuss and demonstrate the fabrication processes performed here, except for beading. Since most components are welded to the gun, you will need to be familiar with the general welding procedure. Recommended heat and force or pressure settings may need to be changed slightly to make a good weld. Always install the correct electrodes for the components to be welded. Other documents you'll use are the assembly procedure and material list for the gun you're fabricating. We'll take one CRT gun through all the steps of fabrication. However, in actual practice, several components are welded to all guns in a run. The welder is then reset and other components are added. A wiring sample is provided to assist you in positioning all parts correctly. Finger cots or gloves must be worn when handling guns and parts. Now let's add more parts to this 0900 gun. First, locate the small mark lightly scribed on one of the vertical plates. With the scribed mark up, weld a wire to each horizontal plate. Position the wires as they are on the sample. This spacer must be used when welding horizontal shields to the inner plate shield to prevent a short. Put the spacer and shield on the horizontal plates and weld the shield. We'll discuss shorts and other defects later. There are more wires to be welded, but the next step is to install a mesh support can. The canning fixture setup is detailed in the assembly procedure. Check a can for proper hole size, then place it on the holder. Mount a gun on the vertical assembly, release the plunger into the grid cup, and lock the interplate shield. Gently lower the vertical assembly and check that the can studs line up with the glass beads. Insert heat shields to protect the horizontal plates from excess heat. Be careful not to scratch the horizontal plates. Then move the gun into the flames. When the glass beads become soft, gravity will pull the gun down, forcing the studs into the glass. Make sure the gun is all the way down, and then move it out of the flames. Remove the shields, and when all color has gone from the glass, carefully remove the gun. This completes the canning operation. The gun is returned to the welder for the addition of more wires. The horizontal plate wires welded earlier are a good reference for positioning and welding other parts. Holding the gun with the horizontal wires toward you, weld a beaded neck pin wire to each of the vertical plates. After welding, rewind the wire on the neck pin. Weld a neck pin wire to the interplate shield. More wires are welded to the gun in the same manner. To the can, the bottom accelerator stud, between the focus ring and accelerator, another accelerator stud, the astigmatism stud, and another focus stud. The vertical plate shields require a different welder tip and setup. With the correct tips and setup, position a pair of vertical shields as demonstrated. Hold them snugly to the glass rods and weld the shield straps together. Too much pressure on the glass rods may bend some of the studs and cause the gun to be rejected. Occasionally, sparks may flash when making a weld. Sparks may be caused by several things: dirty tips, incorrect tips, or improper heat and force settings. Occasional sparking is okay. However, if sparking persists, check the welder tips and setup. On the side opposite the horizontal plate leads, weld a wire between the shield and the getter wire previously welded. The final parts to be welded are 8 snubbers. Position them according to the sample and weld them to the can. This completes pre-clean room fabrication. These 0900 guns are now ready for inspection, cleaning, and passing into the clean room for more fabrication. Now let's discuss and define some defects you can prevent. A short, for example, does not refer to the height or length of a part. An electrical short exists when two components touch when they're not supposed to. This horizontal plate wire touches the interplate shield. This is a short, a defect which must be corrected. An open is the opposite of a short. An electrical open exists when two components should have been welded together but were not. This defect must also be corrected. Damaged or incorrect parts can also cause defects. If you detect anything unusual, discuss it with your supervisor. You may save HP thousands of dollars by detecting or preventing reject CRTs. After you've fabricated a few guns, you'll develop your own techniques. This is okay, provided you position and weld all parts correctly. And remember, no defects. Well, that's it. All you need now is